My people. Hello, hello. Hello, hello. Ah, vipi watu wangu? Hi. Hi Liza. Liza baby. Liza inatoka hapo. Poa sana. Hi Marianne. Hi Simon. Bado tuna What's up my people? Mpo vipi? Hello. Oh, Nahashon. Kevin Tumbo. Jeff. Mwangi Peter. Liza, see me in the box, in the DM. Joseph Kuria. Fiti. Mwangi Peter. Esther Muringi. Network yangu iko vipi? How's my network? Okay. No. Billy Graham Musonye. Cliff. Yeah. Telegram. Liza, Telegram or my email. Gmail, email. Josh Carter. So watu wangu ni aje? Today do you want me to speak English ama speak Swahili? The majority wins. So what I've done leo Njoro. Njoro ndakuvutia after hii. Present getting you all loud and clear. Done the share. English, okay. Mix. Okay, we'll do the mix. So what I did is what I did is I went and back to the data and I was trying to see. I only looked at 2 years. I only looked at DV, the last DV 2023 and DV 2022 to see how many people are selected single versus with families. And there's some interesting things you'll see, some very interesting things that you'll be able to see. But tap on, give me some likes, so that you can let people know. I know people are sleeping right now, but give me some likes. But yeah, good data. Mi niko fiti. The only thing mbaya ni hoba. I have a cold that I've been fighting for a minute. Not just the last couple of days. But yeah, give me some likes as we do that. But I have the data. The data is already there. So just showing it to you. Mwangi Peter, tunakuwatch. Ruaka. Oh no. Let me see. Yeah, don't worry guys. I think I know why my video went off. I will come back. Watu wa TikTok nimewa nini for a minute. Let me see. All right. So close that and my camera. Fundi wa mitambo. Yeah, my net is not good. Let me see. Why? Adan Ibrahim, UK. Let me see. Ooh. Let me see. Oh yeah. Okay, I think we're back. All right. We're back. Mwangi Peter, God willing, nadai kukam na B1, B2 before results za DV 2025 zitokea. Yeah, that's the thing, by the way. That's the thing to do. While you're waiting on your green card, work on other things. Wacha hiyo nini kupate hapa. The DV lottery, if you win, by May you're here, then you can just process it from here. You can always extend your visitor visa. Aya. Sawa. So yeah. So I'm not going to be too long. Na naona net yangu inaleta shida. But I will go ahead and start sharing. Go ahead and start sharing. So I think I'll start with 2023. So I'll give you the data. How many people were selected DV 2023? So I'm looking at East Africa, by the way. So I'm looking at East Africa, looking at what are the, let me see, let me tell you what consulars I'm looking at. All right. So I'm looking at, I wanted to sample not the whole of Africa, but just East Africa for the last 2 years. Last two DV lotteries that have concluded. That's DV 2022 and DV 2023. I'm going to be looking at Nairobi, and Nairobi covers for like 5 countries. So the Nairobi consular also helps out other countries. So a lot of people come and do their interviews in Nairobi. And then Kigali, Rwanda. Rwanda is the other consulate. Khartoum, Sudan. And then Kinshasa, Congo. And Dar es Salaam. Actually, Uganda usually gets processed in Nairobi, but this year they had some cases processed in Kampala. So Kinshasa, Kigali. I think that's pretty much it. That covers pretty much the East Africa I'm looking for. So this data that I'm going to be showing you is going to be covering East Africa. And so what I'm gonna be doing is I'll tell you some of the assumptions that I make. When I did with the data. So when you get the data from the Department of State, the data tells you, it tells you the number of people who are issued their visas. And I'm only going to be looking at people who actually got issued visas. And also we'll be sharing some very interesting things about some very interesting things that I saw when I was doing this. Is I saw, if you're planning to bring your people, so like if you file for a family, and you go by yourself for the, you go by yourself to the interview, and then you put your other people as, your other people that they'll come again. So you don't go to the interview with them. You set for them to go at a later date. You'll be surprised at how many people the visas ended. And once the visas end, even those people who are maybe the husband got the visa and you schedule the wife and the kids to come at a later, to go to the embassy at a later date for their interview. So you have to be very careful about that, because I'll show you some couple of examples about people who the visas ended while they were just ready, waiting to go for their interview. So that means the husband went, the wife and the kids, or the husband and the kids were left. So that means they'll have to go through the long process of coming as doing the petition for the relative alien. That's the I-130. So very careful when you say follow to join. That's why I recommend, if you have a family and you're feeling together as a family, please make sure you go to the embassy together, so that when you get the visa, all of you get the visa. And so you can get the visa, and then what happens, you come to the US, because sometimes it's hard to get, like, maybe you have, well, like maybe it's a family of 4, or maybe a family of 5, so husband, wife, and 3 kids. It's hard to get people to host you, like multiple of you. Sometimes it's easier to say, hey, can you host me as a primary applicant by myself? So then you'll come by yourself, and then that time, because we coming with a DV lottery, you're legally able to work. So you come here, start working, save enough money, get an apartment for yourself, no, you need a car first before you get an apartment. So maybe you can find somebody to host you, work, buy a car. A car is one of the essentials here in America. You need a car to be able to find money, to get money, because otherwise you're gonna either have to be getting Uber or public transportation. And depending on the state that you come to. Someone who is coming to a state like New York, there's really good public transportation, and so owning a car is not like the first thing, but maybe getting an apartment would be the first thing for that person. But like if you're going to somewhere like Minnesota, or you're going to Texas, those are states that you can't really survive without a vehicle. You need a vehicle, because to get from here to the grocery store, to get from here to get anything, you need to drive. So you need a vehicle, becomes a necessity. So it depends on the state you land in. There are necessities. So that's what I would recommend as a family. And I'll show you the numbers of people who they came here. They went to maybe they were in the Gulf. They were in another country. They went to their embassy there. They went to the interview there. And then what they did is they scheduled their families to come at a later date to the embassy for an interview. But unfortunately, a year like 2020, DV 2020, DV 2023, so many people are locked out. So what ends up happening is, as long as the visas go, the visas end, it doesn't matter whether you as a husband got, if your kids and family did not get, it's over. It's over. It's over. It's over. So yeah. So come, go to the embassy, all of you, get visas. That's the most important thing. Get visas, because the alternative is long. The alternative, you ask people who've been waiting, who've been waiting with spouse visas. Some people have been waiting 3 years for spouse visas. You can imagine. I mean, coming with a DV lottery, that means you can be able to go visit your family every year if you want to. But the best scenario is to go together, get the visa, you come to the US, work. After you work, get stable, get a good apartment. After you get a good apartment, to be able to bring on your family, then pay for them pay for their air tickets, and then they'll come and you'll start life together. Very simple, very easy. But if you choose the alternative, like the people who did this, if the visas end before your family is able to go to the embassy, then you'll have to unfortunately go through the long route of filing an I-130. And then that I-130, because a citizen gets priority over a green card holder. You're a green card holder when you win the DV lottery. You get your citizenship after 5 years. So then you have to wait it's no, it's you don't have to wait. Like you can process the I-130, the petition uh for the relative alien. But then you have to remember that petition, it's man, there's so many things that can go wrong with that. you know you're just starting life in America. You probably don't have all the money, and it's like, so you need to be able to show that you can be able to support your family and all those so many things. So it just complicates things. So please, if you win as a family, go to the embassy together. Find the money for medicals, and money for that immigration fee, that you have, that interview fee. uh, and then go to the embassy together, get your visas, and then plan yourself from there. Okay, too much talk there. Go to the point. uh, I just wanted to say that because that's very important. Nani, Eunice, we don't get to the point here. If you are sleepy, please go ahead and sleep, and you can watch the recording tomorrow. You can watch the recording tomorrow. We are peace loving people here. We don't hurry people up. We try and explain it to people so that they can understand. It's a very important point that I wanted to pass across, because you'll see in the numbers that uh, people won, but then they lost that opportunity because of that. Okay, so sharing the data here. Uh, sharing the data. Okay, all right. So we get to the data. All right. Let me see. Okay. Can you guys see the numbers? Let me know if you can see the numbers first. Let me know if you can see the numbers. So, like I told you, I isolated just East Africa. So I'm looking at the numbers. I'm looking at is Nairobi, Kinshasa, Kigali, Khartoum, Dar es Salaam, and there's a few that came in from Kampala in DV 2023. So this is the DV 2023 data, and too tiny. I don't know if let me see if I can try and make it bigger. My people from TikTok, you probably cannot see what I'm doing. I'm on YouTube Live, and I'm showing my screen. And what we're looking at the number of people who won the DV lottery. When you look at single people versus families. And then I'm gonna go down into no, they're okay. Oh yeah, okay. Tiny, not clear. I think I made it bigger now. You can be able to see. Okay. Yeah, I expanded it to like 300. Let me even do a little bit more. Okay. I think that should be it. Okay. All right. So, looking at the data that I collected, now the problem with zooming in is when you move the data, it will mess with you guys. It will mess with you guys. So here, let me make that let me make that statement after I've kind of gone through the numbers and told you guys what's happening. So before I get to the actual data and break it down to tell you, okay, so this is the number of single people, this is the number of married people, but it's not it's not just it's you cannot get the data that tells you, oh, this these people were processed and they were married with this number of kids. The only way we can divide the data is to divide the data between single versus people with families. And so families will have to make a lot of assumptions, but it will depend on the number of people who who are listed as issued. And I'll walk you through that. But I wanted to kind of walk you through some very interesting scenarios here. So these are the other people who are issued, and I think I color coded them. I I wanted to focus on some of the areas that I've highlighted. Okay, and I'll share as we go. So if you look at Africa case number 4543, 4543, they have issued, but they also have refused. Here, let me freeze some panes so that you can be able to see the top of what it's what the freeze some panes. Okay, yeah. So let me freeze some panes and then you can be able to see like the heading. All right, so that's the first line I want to look at. So case number 4543, this is a Nairobi case number. You'll see that they were issued a visa, and then they also have a status of refused a visa. So I just want to, because I want, in just for openness, I like to tell you guys that some things happen. You can go to the embassy, get issued a visa, and then a couple days later they deny you a visa because of something. Maybe they looked at, maybe it's you had said you were it's the thing about marriage too. You are not very clear about your marriage, or you lied in your in your entry, and everything about your marriage is fraudulent. These people have a way of getting and catching you with that. So, and that's why you kind of have to be careful about that, or maybe it's you lie on something. There's something that you lie about, and then they later find something after some investigation, because what you'll notice. Let me pull for you this case number 4543, because I like to share data. I believe numbers don't lie, man. Numbers are good and they don't lie. Unless they are manipulated, obviously. But let me stop sharing that and let me share with you this screen so that you can see the CESC data. All right. Ooh. This is the one that I wanted to share. Okay. So this is the site I go to if you need to check the status of your case. You go to the CESC, ceac.state.gov to check the status of your case number. So then, what is that? That is interesting. Wait a minute. That was interesting. It was asking me some things it's never asked before. Oh yeah. I don't know if you guys saw that, but the other page was asking like so many other details. Because usually this only asks you your case number. All right. So let's look at that case number. That case number was 4543. All right. And this is how you can tell I'm not cooking the data. The data is actually it's actually cases. So the way you put the case number is the year 2023, the region Africa AF, and then the case number 4543. Then you have to put in the code WHMBS. And I'm sorry if my voice, I'm missing a P. That's what I am. All right. So this is the case I'm talking about. This case number is 4543. And you'll notice that this person here, they have two statuses. They have the status of issued. They also have a status of refused. So something happened. And you can usually tell by the case last updated. The last update of that case will tell you when anything was ever done on that case. All right. So we can tell that this person, they did their entry on October 28th. So this is where, these people say people say, but it's actual data. So this is where I got the data from. When I talk about the dates and I analyze the 10 years, this is where I get the data. So this case was created on the 28th of October. That means or 2021. That means the person that got selected, they submitted their entry on the 28th of October 2021. This data is there. It's nothing like cooking. That's why I like operating with facts. People come and say so many things, okay? So this case, the first one that was issued, the status issued, it was updated the 4th of August. So then, but there's another case that was created. The 4th of August was when they were issued. They went to the embassy, they were issued their visa. Then boom, the 6th of September, which is like a month from when they went for their interview and got their visa. Boom, they were refused. They were denied. Why? And they told, see, a US consular officer has adjudicated and refused your visa application. Please see letter you received at the interview. So, which is really unfortunate for you to get the visa and then like a month later they deny you the visa. It's super crazy how that can happen. But that's why I always say, please, my people, please, when you fill out the DV entry, please make sure, don't lie. Don't lie because you think you're too smarter than the consul. Just say the truth. Stick to the truth, and the truth will set you free. This person thought they were going to America. Then ding, 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 a month later, you're not going to America. So be careful. And that's why I like data and I like to educate people that because it's so important, more than just jumping onto the numbers without having, without dwelling on the facts. So that's that case. And it's a number of them. You'll see it's a number of them. Let me share again. And I hope I'll make it through. I hope I'll make it through without my cold messing me up. All right. Okay. All right. Back to the data. So you'll see. I highlighted that out because I wanted to point that out because it's very important. Please make sure you're telling the truth in your applications, because that person, man, it's a very unfortunate situation that for you to be given a visa and then denied again. All right. And then as we move down the list, this is the example I was telling you. See, case number 3073. This is Kinshasa. Kin is Kinshasa. KGL is Kigali. NRB Nairobi. DRS Dar es Salaam. KHT is Khartoum. Khartoum. I don't know if that's how they say it in Sudan. Khartoum. All right. So case number 3073 in Kinshasa. This person. This is another interesting one. Oh, is this the vice versa? Oh, no. Okay. This is another case of a person who, I'm assuming it's either, so you cannot be able to tell whether it's a spouse or a child. It could be a married couple without kids, or it could be a single parent with one child. So, but notice what happened on the screen, all right? So they were issued the visa. But then there is another person here, one, who was stuck under ready. Oh, come on. Don't mess me up, please. Yeah. So you'll notice there's one person here who's stuck under the status ready. Status ready means that this person was scheduled. They had the interview was scheduled. And what probably happened is maybe this is a parent maybe in the Gulf, because I think a lot of these things happen with people who are in separate, like if your family is in a separate place from where you are. So they went for their interview, they got their visa, and they probably scheduled their child or their wife to go to the embassy at a later date. But guess what happened? What happened is the visas ended while their spouse or kid was waiting to get to their interview, which is what happened with Divi 2023. So that person will come. Yeah, that person will come. They'll get their visa, but then they'll have to go through the long process of bringing their their significant other, whether it's a spouse or a child, to the US at a later date, which, depending on how long the process will take, it's been taking it's been taking a long time to bring your kids. It's been taking a long time to bring your spouses. So, and especially as a green card holder, as a citizen, citizens are given priority. So the citizens, even the way they, like, if you file as a citizen, your whatever the person you're trying to bring is they're called fast preference. But if you file as a green card holder, then they are called a second preference, because a citizen and then a green card. So you, as a green card, you'll take even more time. So please, 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 this is what the data says. So this is Kinshasa, and then I wanna go through another case. Oh man, so this is another one in Dar es Salaam, 5031. Case number 5031. And if you later, if you want to go check. I like to be challenged. These cases are real. They're real cases. They're not just numbers that I got this data from the Department of State. And if you go look at the statuses of these cases, you will see that they are actual cases. So this case 5031 in Dar es Salaam, the primary applicant, they got their visa. But guess what? There's 10 people who these people had failed. So that means it's probably one wife and 9 kids. Wow. So they would all have gone together. But I guess the burden of, hey man, that's a lot of 9 kids, or if maybe it's I don't know. It could be a single mom or a single dad with 10 kids. But I think it's more a husband and 9 kids, a husband and a wife and 9 kids. And I mean, I can imagine 10 people. Wow. Like, the fees are too much. The fees are too much. But what ended up happening is the DV lottery ended while he's the only one who got the visa to come to the US, but his family did not. The visas ended before they went to the interview, which is hard, which is wow. So this is a case where, when you're looking at the magnitude of, like, the amount of money it's gonna cost this person to bring his family to the US at a later date, like, you just skyrocketed the prices. It would have been way cheaper to come together with a DV lottery process than it will be to bring them with an I-130. This is a case of somebody who's gonna have to pay the pain of, yeah, man, 10 people were left out because, yeah, maybe and it's probably because of money. It's bringing 10 people. That's a lot. That's, oh man, that's difficult, because it's really expensive to file the I-130. There's so many fees. It's like 500 and something, $580 something for one person, versus, like, if you go for the, if you do it through the DV lottery, it's just the 300 and 300 and some for your interview, and then medical is, wait, 45,000. What's that, like, 45,000, 400 and some, so less than 1,000 to process for one person, but it's gonna cost you way more to bring them as with a long process. All right, let me move further. And then this is another case. I'm gonna share this case. This is Khartoum, Sudan. Khartoum, Sudan, 6192. And I'll show you. This is another case of I think this is good news for that person. They went 6192 is the case. 6192. I keep sharing the wrong screen. All right. 6192 is the case. Come on. Then I'll go to the totals. 6192 XP Y5. All right. So this person at 6192 let me see. Whoa. Oh, yeah. Okay, yeah. So this person went to the embassy. They were refused. They were refused their visa, but then they were on the 7th of March. And then something happened and they went back. And on the 13th of March, they got their visa. So I don't know what happened. Maybe it could be maybe an AP, like administration processing, that they waited. Because I don't know if if refused AP is, they would tell you if it's refused AP, or they just consider you were refused, and then you went back and maybe provided more data and you were issued. But this is a case that I think ended up well, because they were first refused and then they got issued their visa. They got issued their visas. And this is KHT Khartoum. And this person, they filled their, they submitted their entry on the 7th of November. 7th of November, which is like 2021. Was that like the third last day? I think 2021 ended at November 9th. Yeah, so they filled it November 7th. All right. Okay. So back to our data so that we can back to our data. I think that's all I wanted to talk about in terms of like the kind of breaking down the cases. And then I'll go now show you the totals. So I'll go show you the totals. As we scroll through, I think you'll see there's a lot of people and I'll just be mentioning, we don't need to dwell on this. So this is another case. You'll see a lot of people who, if you don't go to the interview together, how your families are kicked out. So like you see that Kinshasa, that was another one that was maybe a spouse, a married couple, or a single parent with one child. That's another one that had 4 people left because they only went to the embassy by themselves. And the 2 didn't get it. And then you have another one that maybe a parent, 2 kids, or maybe a parent, a married couple, 1 child. 2 people are left out. Oh yeah, this is a case. This one is a case of where they were refused, and then they were put on administrative processing, but then they got it. And so these are all people who so when I sorted out the data, the ones I've highlighted would actually go into the other tabs, because the ones I've highlighted would actually go into the other tabs, because they were selected as a family. And when you go to the selection, they were selected as a family. Like let me go here down. So like this case, they were selected as a family, maybe a married couple, but one got the visa, one did not get the visa, because one went to the interview, the other one was waiting to go to the interview. So this would probably be a statistics for a married, like under married, but I just, because just for simpler, it's not so many scenarios, but just to let you know that the number of single people will probably be inflated by some of this data. Like the ones I've highlighted in red, in yellow, or because like this is a family of 4. It's a family of 4. but only one person got the visa. Then the other ones, they were left waiting. The way DV 2023 messed up a lot of people. Kigali, and then all these numbers would probably count under family. And you see, it's a lot of them. So please, when you go to the embassy, please all go to the interview together. Don't risk it. Don't risk it. Don't risk it, because you might have to wait for another 2, 3, sometimes 4 years for you to be able to be united with your family. All right. So we get to the numbers. So these are the totals now. So we're looking at. So I've told you the total number of single people, like in DV 2023, that was selected was 847. All right. But 847 is inflated because there's a few, maybe like 20 or so of them should be grouped with the other ones as family, because it was only one person got the visa, then the other ones, the DV lottery ended without them getting to the embassy. They were ready to go, but they did not go. Okay. But the number of single people in East Africa was 847. All right. And then we go to families. So we go to families, and this is the next tab here. And it's what I did is I've hidden the rows so that I can make it easy for you to see. I'm trying to make it bigger. I can try and make it bigger. So total one is about 847. So total one is a single people. All right. Total one is a single people. That's from the other tab. This is all the numbers. So let me explain to you the numbers. Total 2, that means there were 2 people who got visas. So it could be a married couple, it could be a single parent and their child. 2. All right. Then there's total 3, could be a lot of makeup. Total 3 could be a married couple with 1 child, 1 single parent with 2 kids, but it's a total of 3 of them that got. Total 4, it could be a married couple with 2 kids, a single parent with 3 kids. On and on and on. Total 5, it could be a married couple with 3 kids, or a single person with a single parent with 4 kids. Same thing here. Total 6, total 7, total 8, 9, and 10. So you'll notice that married couple, like the total 2, whether it's a married couple or maybe a single parent and 1 child, of the multiple of the families, they tend to be selected more, because there was like 162 of them. That was just 2. So that means it was a husband and a wife, or maybe a single parent and a child. So 2 is higher. So this is why I say sometimes you can exclude, like not including your kids can take you out of getting an opportunity, because you'll see like there's total 10. Actually, there should have been total 11. One of the total 11 was the case from Dar es Salaam. Would have been total 11, because 1 person got, 10 people were ready. They were waiting, but they did not get visas. That was 11 people who were selected. So don't be afraid. If you're a big family, that could be a way for you to make it into. I don't know how they go about designating this many people. We want this many people with this many kids, this many families. But you'll see the more the families, the more the member of the families, the lesser the people who are selected. And you'll notice, so this is DV 2023. You'll notice as we go to 2022, it kind of remains the same. Like it's the trend. These things, that's why I'm saying the trends are the same. The trends are, they don't change. These are the trends. It's like two people feeling usually get two people, whether it's a married couple, whether you're doing it together as a married couple or doing it as a single parent and one child, you have a higher chance. It's a lot more chance to get selected than a family of three or a family of four, and on and it kind of goes down. So three and four is kind of the same. So you'll know. So before I talk too much on this, let me go to 2022 so that you can see. So for 2022, see the total. 2023, the total for the single was 847. But when you go to 2022 single, that number went up by 1,200. So you're noticing the number of singles is higher, like substantially higher than the married, the families. So they're selecting for the 2 years. This is East Africa. I haven't, yeah, because I don't wanna, I wanna kind of be on a rabbit trail. Single people get selected at a higher chance than families. Look at 2022 for the last 2 years. That is for the last 2 years. So, single there were. Let me put the 1215 here. Total one. And obviously, that number is inflated by the cases that have been, I would have highlighted in red or yellow in the previous screen. Is it 1215? Yeah, it's 1215. All right. So, like, you can see the difference. But obviously, when you look at the total number of people, obviously the families will be more than the single people. But when you're talking about a selection at a time, because obviously when you add up all these people, there's two, if like this 243 persons in a family of two, that's, you have to double that. You have to triple this, 4 times this. Obviously, the number of families selected overall will be more than the single people. But when you're looking at like a single entry, the number of entries that will be selected for single people have been higher for the last 2 years in East Africa for single than it has been for families. And like the numbers are really, I don't even think it's close. I don't even think it's close. They might not want to give us data, but there's a lot of things you can take from this data and kind of come to your own conclusion. What is the US trying to do? You can do that. Obviously, there's the issue of I'll go to the numbers. Let me speak to you. Obviously, there's the issue of they're opening up this slot for the DV lottery to bring in people. They want workforce. They want people who can work, contribute to the US economy. And they don't want, and part of the reason why they are very keen at, and they'll put you on administrative processing if you don't have a sponsor. If you don't have a host and if you don't have a sponsor who is able to support you, they will not give you the visa. Why? Because they don't want you to come and mooch on the system. They don't want you to come and become a public charge. That means another hungry mouth to feed. The US doesn't want that. And so it's selecting all these young people, all these, whether young or old, single people who, they have a high school education. Some of them have skills to come and contribute to the US economy. And so, as a single person, you stand a higher chance of being selected than the families. And also, it's just because they haven't given us the data. Otherwise, I would have dug into the data of the families to see those multiples, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way to 10. Are they married, or are most of them single? It's like single parents, families. And with I can almost I can almost speak like this is an assumption I'm making. The way I know the US and how much they favor a unit, like a family unit, I would want to say it's a lot more married than there are single parents in that number. Because this is the other thing too. You know, you as a single, like coming to the US, he's coming to the US and starting the life in the US as a single parent is difficult compared to starting in the starting in a new country as a single person, or maybe with your partner and your kids. Because what happens is uh childcare is, man, that's one of the things that is really difficult. Because back home you can easily get somebody to watch your kids. It's more of a community back home than it is here. Here you have to find childcare before, and you can't just leave your child at home. But in in Kenya, I don't think anybody will ask you if you leave your child. That's like some of us, we were left home. Some of us, they left us at home. Our parents left us at home, and they went and worked and came back, because there's no way they couldn't put us, like, I don't know if anybody, and if you're there, what unless you are well off, they unless you are well off, that's when you either had a nanny to watch you. Otherwise, they would just go to work, and just you pretty much, they leave food for you. Sometimes some of us, it's kind of like, sort yourself out. But it's extremely difficult here in the US, because you cannot leave your child at home unless they are, like, is it like 13 years now or something? They have to be at least 13 for you to leave them at home. So going by that, and just how much they don't want the people who are coming in to be a public charge, that means to use up the resources. They want people who would come in, put in the work, actually make money for the US. I would assume a lot of those people are married. But this is, don't quote me. This is just me. It's a guess. This is a guesswork. There's facts in the numbers, but then you can sometimes make assumptions on the numbers. Just knowing the US and how they treat families, how they treat, because you look at the tax system in the US. Tax system in the US, married people get the most favorable taxes, then followed by oh yeah, and I could be wrong. Followed by who? Followed by single, single parents. Single parents is the second best. Yeah, I mean that's if you're obviously taking out like the qualifying widows and all that. The second best filing tax rate is actually single parents. So maybe my assumption is incorrect. Yeah, the number one best filing tax system is status is married, and then there's a head of household. Head of household is either a mom or a dad with their kids, and then it goes down to all the so like the worst are single, and then if you're married and filing separate, that's those are the worst. So yeah, so if you're don't you know don't this is just the numbers. They uh they're saying that they tend to select more single people than they do uh families. But the other thing is, don't leave your kids out, because you leaving your kids, and here, let me go back to these numbers, and you'll see, especially if you have like a big family. If you have a big family, you might have a chance of, maybe that could be the reason why they're selecting you, is because you have a big family. See, like, there's like, if you have that's maybe a husband and wife and 7 kids, or man, that would be difficult. A mom and 8 kids. Wow. Yeah. So don't forget to include your kids, because that could be one of the reason why you get selected. That could be one of the reason why you get selected. So that's the data. In conclusion, more single people tend to get more single entrants tend to get selected than family entrants. And this is the last 2 years of the DV lottery. And I'm focusing on my people from the East African region. All right. That's all I wanted to share. That's all I wanted to share. Okay. Oh man, so many questions there. So many questions. Oh man, that's a lot of questions, my people. But yeah, I mean, you can ask questions. If I missed your question, please ask again. I will try and answer. So someone asked about age. So I don't think they can. That's something they can publicly put out there, because there's you cannot discriminate somebody based on age. So that's a big thing in the U.S. I don't think they would ever put that, but I think because they want people who are contributing to the economy. I'm sure that plays a role, but those are datas that they keep to themselves, that they don't release to the public. I'm just using the data that's available, that the Department of States kind of gives out after every DV lottery is completed. My son is 17. Hey, let me go back here. Maslin, my son is 17. Can he fill the DV lottery? Kindly advise. So the DV lottery doesn't actually go by the age. It goes by has he graduated high school? If he has the high school certificate, then he can apply at 17. But most probably he's not going to have his high school certificate. So that's kind of how it goes to 18. But you can file, like you can apply for him and include him. But if he's a genius, he has his certificate, he can fill. He can fill as well. Yeah, I like analyzing data. Data is good. We can, because I feel like my people, they like guesswork fraternity. My people, they like guesswork fraternity. And once guesswork is passed on, it becomes truth. Becomes truth. Okay. No, Nimo Abbas Niaje. I have a diploma in computer science. Naweza fanya degree US. Yes. It's a very marketable field. Let's try and keep it. Let's try and keep it DV lottery. Tafadhali, my people. Victor Omai, Miai. How much is rent estimate for an apartment per month? Bed sitter, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom apartments. So I actually did a video on my YouTube channel. So if you check my YouTube channel, I kind of walked through. I've done several videos on states with the most kind of East Africans. So, and I've focused on this because I mostly talk to my people. Done states with the most East Africans in terms of like the cost of living, the house prices, things like those. But I've also done based on the 30, like I've taken the top 13 states that there's a lot of East Africans, Kenyans, Tanzanians, Ugandans, and stuff. And what I've done is what I did is I went through the apartment prices for each for kind of each state that has a lot of our people, and then you can tell that by you can kind of go through that. Like when you look at some of the states like Washington, because DC, Washington DC is the capital of the U.S. I don't think they really consider it a state. Washington DC. No, I'm talking about Washington. Washington has a lot of Kenyans, has a lot of East Africans. A lot of East Africans in Washington. Washington is it's a what's that, safe haven. So there's a lot of immigrants in Washington, but also like Washington, when it comes to like apartment prices, it's pricey. it's pricey compared to like another state with very many Kenyans like Texas. Texas is cheap in terms of apartments, you know. Or you go to like Kansas. There's a lot of Kenyans in Kansas, which is crazy. But Kansas is like super cheap compared to like Texas. And then you go to like there's a lot of Kenyans in New York. New York is super expensive compared to like Washington. And you go like California. There's a lot of Kenyans in East Africans in California. But man, when you're talking about housing in California, it's super expensive. And so it really does depend. There's so many factors, but I've done videos on like apartment prices. So you go check it out. And I've kind of gone into more detail on that. Let me see. Oh, thank you so much, Carol. Thank you so much, Carol. Thanks for that gift. Thanks for the gift. Mm, oh no, Eunice, it wasn't you. It wasn't you. It was another Eunice who you didn't offend me. It was another Eunice who was telling me to get to the point. Uh, who's telling me to get to the point. Yeah, thank you so much, Carol. Okay, so Cliff Och Tech Games. Okay, wait. Bro, this case of issued and denied, I think it's something different when someone's case is closed. See who I may sure Eva. Oh, yeah. So what happens is every DV lottery has an expiry date. This is like it's like milk. It has an expiry date. DV, like the ones you guys are feeling this year, right now, what's happening right now, DV 2025. And I told you they name the lotteries on the year that the lottery will expire. They call it DV 2025 because this DV lottery will expire September 30th of 2025. If you haven't gotten your visa by September 30th of 2025, it's gone. Like it's gone. Like bye bye. That chance has gone. It has gone. If you haven't, doesn't matter whether you've got an interview date, doesn't matter whether everything you went for your medicals and you were supposed to go the next day, visas end while you're on the line waiting to be interviewed, it's done. It's done. But I think they do a better job than to I don't think there's anybody who like they were on the line for the interview and told. I think they try and they communicate to make sure that these people, will give people chances. So that I think that would be really cruel if you were on the line for the interview and then they made the announcement. They sent the announcement to them that all the visas are done. Close the year. That would be bad. That would be bad. But yeah, so issued, denied. So if you go to the interview, you can either get you can either get so many different statuses. Okay, you go with everything that you need, and I've done really extensive videos on the process from the beginning to the end. Watch my videos. If you go to the DV Lottery playlist on my YouTube channel, it'll have a lot of information. See, I like to give information. I think that's me. I love to just dig into info and give people information. So if you go to the embassy, you can either be issued a visa, you can either be refused. That means it's done. You can be refused but given what is called a 221G. It's called administrative processing. That is, you need to either bring something or the officer needs to check something up before they can either give you or deny you. Or that's really it for at the embassy. But then otherwise, there's people who are waiting for the embassy, which is ready, waiting for the interview date, which is ready. There's people who are at NVC, that's waiting for their 2NLs, waiting for their 2NLs. Paris could be the person went for the interview, but something was missing, like a document. Case was placed in AP, but the applicant could not provide the document. That happens too. If they put you on AP and you're not able to, maybe it's you don't have Maybe you get a host who doesn't have very good finances. They'll ask you to get a joint host, joint sponsor. And if you're not able to provide the joint sponsor, then they'll ultimately deny you. They give you a timeline. They ask you for something, you need to bring this by this time. Most APs usually end uh within a year. Within a year. All right, all right. Someone was asking about age, but I don't think that's something they can disclose. Fidel, in case you win the DV lottery and fill the DS-160 form, DS-260, you mean, you will have to provide a marriage certificate to prove that. Oh, Noel was asking something. Oh, yeah, let's go to Noel's question. Noel was asking, what if you're getting married next year? Do you put single or you put, how you go to River Road? I think I've done so many videos on this. It's very simple. Why people complicate it? It's it's beyond me. You're either married or you're not married. You decide what you want. Come we stay, people. I don't know how many times I'll keep addressing you. It's if you're single, you're single. If you're married with a license. I know some people want to go. Why do you want to go chase a lawyer, affidavit, and then from affidavit go get marriage license? You can go to eCitizen. I think the thing is like 1100, 1100. Just go get married right away before you file this thing. Go get married. You have until wait, what day is this? Let me check what day this one is. As far as the DV is concerned, I'll tell you how many days you have, which I think will be sufficient enough. Do you have to like give a 21-day notice or something? I don't know if you have to give a 21-day notice or something for marriage. Oh, come on. Okay, as I wait for that, but please don't go River Road. You get kicked out. So today is the 14th. 14th is day 11th of the DV lottery. So day 11th of the DV lottery, we have 35 days. So that's 35 minus 11. We have 24 days. So you have, even if you have a 21 day of notice, you have enough days to get your license. Go get married, man. Go to the AG. Get that fixed. I'm sure. Yeah. Don't go to River Road, man. Don't go to River Road. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Please don't. Oh, Linda says, I think it's more money going back to them for married people with families. Oh, that too, because man, because they make a lot of money especially when it comes to families, because every family, that's another thing I know. Hey, I can talk about it because it's freedom of speech, but I don't think a lot of U.S. citizens, native U.S. citizens, people not. I don't think there's a way. Maybe there, just like people who are immigrating from like countries like Africa. We know this because we know like how much we pay for going to the embassy, but also we know like so many people get denied, and we know how much money the US is making as a result of this. And a lot of people who didn't come from like maybe they were born here don't know how much money people actually spend to come to the US. And the US actually makes a lot of money. A lot of people don't know that. They don't know all the denials, and how much money that the US makes out of immigration, people wanting to immigrate to the US. Because, you get someone paying like 5 times, you keep going to the embassy, you keep getting denied, but every time you go, you pay money, you pay money, you pay money. It's it's a slippery slope. It's one of those areas that I think, we it's crazy how much money the US does make in immigration. Number of denials that people are denied, but it's not often talked about. And especially in countries like Africa, they they deny so many people visas, and that money is never refunded to you. Once you go, it's like it's done. It's done. It's done. Yeah, being married, you can get double chances. Lily Valley, but here's story of taxes. Single people pay more to the government compared to married. No, married people pay. I mean, married people have a favorable tax. They have favorable taxes, but because it's two people, they're gonna pay more than single people, obviously. Because single people, you're making more money. You're in a higher tax bracket. Wait, married people, you make more money. Uh, you'll be in a higher tax bracket compared to like a single person. So like you get a single person, they're making 100,000. Then you get a married couple, one of them is making 80 and another one is making 60,000. That's 140. Obviously, the 140,000 will pay more taxes than the single person. So it doesn't really have to do. It's just that that's how it's been. Like when you file as a married couple, you get more deductions because like a single person gets a standard deduction of 12,000 something, and then a married couple gets 25,000. But also you have to understand that those are two salaries that are put together. The husband and the wife, if they're both working. Um, oh, Fidel says, no, my friend, this is the US intelligence. It's very sensitive. You can't cheat the system. Yeah. I mean, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Thinking you'll be the first one. The place that you're going to buy that certificate in River Road, maybe they caught the person another person, and they know these things. And all they have to do is maybe they put it in the system and they know this is a fake thing. And then you get banned. When they catch you, you get banned. So please don't risk. Uh, wait. Elkana Ombua, can you discuss about the marriage certificate because it's uh, it's a problem for a lot of people. You have kids, but you haven't done a wedding. You're really interested. You've been applying since 2009 when you were single. Well, it's very simple. It's very simple. If at the time you're doing the DV entry, you're not married, then you apply as single, and you can include your kids. Obviously, you include your kids, and then your partner, will also apply as single and then include the kids. The kids, yeah. That's the legal. That's the right way to do it. And I don't encourage people to cut corners in my channel. I always say, stick to the truth. Stick to the truth because you can prove the truth. The other ones you can't. The other ones, once you're caught in a lie, it's does location of the person give a better chance of being selected? Let's say you're in the US versus you're in Nairobi. So I don't know that. I don't know that. Uh, that I haven't. They don't give us enough data to be able to mine that unless you like look at each and every case number to be able to see, because you can tell like you can tell if someone. So your eligibility counts in your country. So like if I'm a Kenyan, I live in the US. I'll say I live in the US, but my numbers will still count for Kenya. Okay, so I don't know if there's a favor. People win, but not like, I don't think they win like in huge numbers as compared to like, and I'm talking about Kenya compared to like Kenyans in Kenyan. Kenyans in Kenya win more than Kenyans anywhere else. Yeah, there's more people in Kenya who get selected for the DV lottery than Kenyans in Qatar, Kenyans in. So yeah, but ultimately, it goes back to your eligibility. It goes back to your country of eligibility. If Kenya is your country, your numbers count for Kenya. Whether you're in Croatia, whether you're in whether you're in Kabul, wherever you are, your numbers will still count for Kenya. But I don't know. Maybe I'm not. I haven't done that research. I can't. That would be me speculating rather than talking the facts. Talking the facts. What category can one apply in DV 2025 with a diploma in computer science? So, diploma, that's a associate degree. So, you would say some university courses. Some university courses. If you're in the Middle East, doesn't mean you should have two police certificates. If you've lived there for more than 6 months, then that means you will have one for the Middle East, and then you'll also have one for Kenya, because Kenya is your country. But there's also been cases where some people have trouble accessing their police certificates from some of those countries, and there's ways around that. I've discussed a lot more on that on like some other videos on if you cannot be able to obtain a police certificate. Uh, they call it good conduct in Kenya. Okay, Cliff. Those people who know we have traditional marriages in Africa. The thing is, apply as married, plan, formalize the marriage at AG. It's 5K, but again, be ready to prove. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ultimately, too, license is it's required to have a marriage license, but you also need to prove that you're married. Paris. I have a friend who was married. Later, they disagreed with the wife. Now he has another wife, not legally married, and the two have one kid. Wait, so he was married, but he never got divorced from his first wife. So it's if he never got divorced, then he's still married to the first wife. It's just that he's doing other things with the other one. So yeah. So like whatever is the scenario, if he's still married, then he's still married to the other. They don't have a divorce, then he's still married. So he's still married. Otherwise, if he's divorced, then he's single with the number of kids that he has. So many questions on marriages and kids. What if I win the DV lottery? What are the procedures of bringing the family? You win the DV lottery, you go to the embassy with your family. Obviously, hopefully you included them in the entry. Then you go process together as a family, get your visas, and then you can choose either to go together or you can choose to go and have the family follow, after a few months, or you can choose to go to the interview by yourself and have your family go to the interview at a later date by themselves. So many options. So many options. Talk about disease that can deny you uh, a visa. Really, I don't think there's a disease that can deny you a visa because like TB. If you have TB, that's one of the things that has messed up a lot of people. If they test and they see you have TB, then they put you on medication. So that could mess you up if maybe it's coming close to September 30th and you won't have finished your medication, then it messes you up. So, but other things, like STDs, obviously they want you, do take antibiotics and all that and all those things. But what matters is the amount of time left between you and completing whatever thing you have to complete. But otherwise, AIDS is no longer, AIDS is they used to do it a long time ago. Now it's if you have AIDS, it doesn't matter. Yeah, yeah. So Yeah. And I have a lot more information in other videos. Yeah. Yeah, what I say, if you get selected, because May 4th is when the results will come out. Please, if just go to like place like a public hospital, tell them to test your TB, whether it's a chest x-ray or something. If they find it, then start taking those antibiotics. That's if you've won, because you want to kind of get ahead of time, because it's worse. What has happened to a lot of people is, okay, maybe it's August, and the DV is supposed to end next month in September 30th. And then you go and they tell you have to take this, this drugs for this amount of time. So by the time you finish taking, the window is already closed and you've lost your chance because you did not go ahead of time to check TB. TB is that one. The other one's for antibiotics. Is the STDs and stuff. You take antibiotics. I don't think they can stop you uh, from really going to the US, because you have the Nairobi. What was it called? The one for Nairobi people. The gonorrhea. Okay. I think kind of wrapping up with the questions, but we covered what I wanted to cover today. If you're in the Middle East and you win, how are you going to do interview? You're going to do the interview either in the Middle East if you choose to. If you have a family back home, then you can choose Nairobi or Dar es Salaam or whatever country you're in, Kinshasa, to do your interview there with your family, together with your family. Otherwise, you can do there's consulates pretty much all over around the world. Around the world. All right. Yeah. So my people from TikTok, if you did not see the data that I was talking about and you want to see the video, if you came in late, check out my YouTube. Check out my YouTube. You will be able to see that video, and it will, give you that data. Now I'll put the link for where you go check your status. That way you guys can go check out. I kind of like to scroll through the numbers. That way people can see, and then you can see. You can test out the cases, see if they're actually true. True. Talk of transferring cases. Ooh, gegenpressing. Wait, gegenpressing. Is it advisable to send the DV lottery photo via WhatsApp? WhatsApp messes up with the photos somehow. Sometimes I think it's with a compressing issue. If you send them over WhatsApp, sometimes they have compressing issues. Sometimes they're fine, but sometimes your photos will be over compressed when you send them over WhatsApp. So you have to be careful about that. You have to be really careful about that. Yeah. And please, man, this is like the 10th time I'm saying about photos. The reason most people get disqualified is because of bad photos. And people just don't you it's true. Even after telling people, the people I'm filling the DV lotteries for, I tell them, test your photos before you send them. They send them to me. And then because I'm not gonna complete for you if your photos fail. I will not. I'll give you for you to do it for yourself and refund your money back. I cannot complete a DV entry for you if your photo fails, because that's why am I doing that when I know you'll be disqualified? And that's been the case. Like I'm telling you, 80% or more of the people that have completed four so far, their photos failed. And I had to go retake a photo, go do something with it. But your picture does not, it doesn't qualify. That's double entry is one that will disqualify you. If you apply twice as a primary applicant, then number two, your photo will disqualify you. Some people go to I know it's cheap when people say, oh, yeah, it's 200. But what are you getting for that 200? You're getting, most of the time what's happening is that person will not take the time to check your photo. And this thing about checking a photo with the eyes and saying it's good, yeah, Yeah, that's the same way people got sick a while. That's the same way people got sick because you look at somebody, they look healthy, they don't look like they have it, and then you go become a law-abiding citizen, and then the next thing, oh man, I checked, they looked like they could not have it. No, there are systems there to check this thing. So please check your photos. Check your photos. Yeah. And it's ask somebody before the, hey, by the way, I know you're charging me this. You know, you're charging me this. Are you checking my photo? I know it's very cheap, you're doing it. But then you have all these people, they just want to make money. So what to him, he's out for profit. You know, that's what he's out. He's out for profit. I'm gonna make as much money as possible, feel for as many people as possible. And so that's the people who mess up your information. Same people who don't even take the time to look at a photo, whether your photo has a blue background, whether you're waiting on something, your ears are not visible, you know, there's like the picture is blurry, it's not clear, there's like shadows on your pictures. They're not taking time to look at those things. You know, the picture is over compressed and all that stuff. And they're like, oh, yeah, just send me. Yeah, wait, send me this, send me that. Boom. And then it's like they're not even asking you for anything. Just ask too. If someone is filling information for you, they don't even ask you where, you know, where were you born, what's your mailing address, asking you questions about your marriage status, your kids. That's why people end up filling and you leave out all your kids. Why? Because the person you filled, who did it for you, didn't take the time to ask you questions that were important. And so you win, but your kids are out. And yeah, messing up. So please, man, photos, man. You'd rather do it. That's why I did a video for you here. I've given you all the information that is needed for you to be able to do this by yourself. Uh, but yeah, there was another question on transferring cases. Yeah. So this is a very interesting case. And I mean, if anybody's watching me and you were one of those people that used this thing where you transferred your case from one country that was really slow at processing visas and went to another country and you got your visa and other people are locked out in the country you left, please let me know. I would love to interview you. I would love to interview you. Yeah, I'll ask for your case number first and then I'll go check it out. Just make sure that we're not jabberating. Please, if you transferred your case, let me know because I know like Kenya services, you know, multiple countries. And so their interviews will tend to go slowly because they're servicing more countries. And then you have another country like Tanzania that only services Tanzania, you know, is or like, you know, the Gulf countries where not so many Qatar, you know, not so many Qatar or Saudi Arabia people win are selected for the DV lottery. And so they don't have like so many people uh, waiting to get interviewed. So that I don't know about that. I haven't done research about that. That's more on one-on-one cases. If there's people who've done that and been successful, please let us know. Because if there's a way, you know, you transferring a case will help you get a visa and otherwise you would have been locked out, then do that. But I would caution transferring cases sometimes can take time and you can have things that are lost in translation. Like you can transfer a case and it's lost somewhere. It's the good example when you go to a bank, and you have these two lines, okay? And you go to one line. This is a perfect example, just to let you know. Yeah, if you go, you have two lines. You look at those two lines and you say, okay, this one is going faster than this one. So you go to that line and you wait. And then when you look at the other line, that line starts to go faster. Then you like say, let me change, go to this one. And then, boom, what happens? That line you moved to stops moving. Then this one that you left, they are all cleared and you're left in line. And then it's like, so why did I even move in the first place? I should have just stayed. That's the other repercussion of what if you move cases, your case is lost. Because it's not unheard of for people to transfer your case and then your case is never located. someone lost your case. It was lost somewhere. The internet swallowed your case. We cannot find it. What? Who are you going? And you don't even have enough time to cry, because you can, you can try all this, and once it's lost in the bureaucracy, my friend. Yeah, and it doesn't matter whether it was the fault of the consulate or whoever. If September 30th comes, the DV lottery is closed. They are not issuing any more visas. So that would be the caution. You move to another place thinking that you'll get a quicker interview, and then what ends up happening? Your case ends up getting lost, or or you end up missing out. You end up missing out because there is some factors that you did not know that they don't disclose you. But also, if you move to another country, I think you kind of have to. You kind of have to. Why are you moving your case? Why is it that you're moving your case? You have to have a valid reason why. Why you're moving your case. So I know sometimes we like to cut corners, but it could be your detriment. Peter, what about those people who are away from the country and their spouse are in Kenya? How can they be married with a certificate? And how can they be married with certificate? And can their spouse do it through e-citizen alone? I think there's a way you can do that. There's a way you can do that, Peter. There's a way you can do that. Yeah, I'm sure. I'm sure in Kenya everything is possible. But you go get everything is possible. Everything is possible. I'm sure there's a way you can get that done. Get that done. Aya. Leo huendi church. No, it is 5 p.m. on Saturday for me. 5 p.m. Sato. Oh, that's I'm in Kenya. What happens if someone in the US fills my green card lottery? Does that increase the chances of selection? Now that's another guesswork fraternity. There's nothing proven in that. There's nothing proven in that. Like somebody in the US filling it out for you. Ultimately, the DV lottery is a chance. DV lottery is it's chance, but also a good entry matters a lot. Having a good clean DV entry, good clean photos, everything is good as it should be, is very good. Making sure that someone is checking your info, including everyone that needs to be included, very good, very good. But also, the other thing that I was able to find that I can talk in numbers is the days. I can talk in the days because that's data. Like, see the way today I was telling you about single people, because you can see it's in the data. That's the same way about the days. That's the data. Fight me with something else. Bring data to fight me on that. Someone fight. I haven't had anybody come to me with facts telling me otherwise. All the other people have been coming with guesswork fraternity. This is another guesswork fraternity. And time doesn't matter. How does the time you apply for the time doesn't matter? Time doesn't matter. Day does matter. Time doesn't matter. Yeah, time doesn't matter, because when you go check these things, you go check. Here, let me show you. Let me show you guys something. When you go check the numbers, I had hidden the 2 columns here. Let me unhide them. The submission date. See, the submission date does matter. The submission date does matter. But it just gives you a submission date. That doesn't give you a stamp for time. Doesn't give you a stamp for time. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, the date does matter. The date does matter. The date does matter. But the time, I don't think does. Aya. Okay, my people. Watu wangu wa TikTok, mulikuwa na swali. Nimewa ignore. Okay. TikTok people, did you have a question before I close you out? Oh, and thank you so much for the gifts. Thank you for liking, man. Like my video. It helps. It helps when you like this so that people can get good information. Good clean information that is, I think good information is so vital. Good information is vital. Information is power. Information is power. Information is power. Sawa sawa, my people. Yeah. My TikTok people. Barikiweni sana. Aya. Oh, gigging pressing. What time? Let me see. Na nikiwa na an overly compressed na ina meet requirements. Now that one I don't know. That one I don't know. If it fails, I mean it's not supposed to be compressed. Not supposed to be compressed. Yeah. You're hungry or you want to go? Oh, unaona nimekujiwa wadau. Yeah, so they came for me. You want to say hi? Hi. All right. Nimekujiwa. They've come for me so that I can go. We can go to dinner with the kiddos. So, well, man, yeah. Please don't leave before giving me a like. Don't leave. Give me a like. Share the video with somebody you think will benefit from this. Otherwise, man, love you guys and praying for you. And I keep praying for you, man. I keep praying for you to come and we can do content together, man. You guys, yeah. And you can I can help pull you here and you can help pull more people, help your people, and then, man, we eradicate poverty one person at a time, because poverty is the enemy. Poverty is the enemy. Poverty is the enemy. Yeah, thank you guys so much. I appreciate you. Yeah, gagging pressing, please get a photo that meets all the requirements. No need to risk. Don't risk it. It's a once, you do it once a year. Just spend that extra little money to get a good photo. Yeah. My people, man, be blessed, and until next time, man. Hey, I love you more. Love you all. Fiti man. Fiti man.